Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, first of all, I am pleased to be speaking this debate, but also sad that this debate is actually required. Now, inward migration enriches our society for the better, and migrants make a net contribution to our economy, our public services, and also to our public finances. And I'm pleased that the Scottish Government is committing more than £1 million to the Stay in Scotland campaign to support our EU citizens during and beyond the transition period to continue living, working and also studying in Scotland. This not only sends a message, a positive message, but demonstrates that Scotland is welcoming to our EU friends. On an issue of such importance as immigration, it is disappointing, but not surprising that the UK Government have repeatedly ignored the Scottish Government, and as my colleague Joan McAlpine spoke about, I'm also on the same committee. When we heard this last week, about 7 letters being sent and ignored by the UK Government. To me, this shows a few things. It's either the height of complete arrogance and disregard from the London administration, or complete incompetence. Now, I read the 2 amendments with interest, and first of all, it looks like the Labour Party have moved on from their controls and immigration slogan and the red mug, which I very much welcome the fact they have moved on from that. And David Stuart's speech was certainly in total contrast to that position a few years ago. And as for the Tories, Gordon Brown's British jobs for British workers has been redrafted and somewhat softened, according to their amendment. Now, I gently say to the Tories that local recruitment will be happening, but if the employers can't find the people to work in that particular sector, and in this case the care sector, then they do have to find staff from elsewhere. And some people will point to the unemployment stats and suggest that there's a workforce sitting at home doing nothing. Indeed, some of these individuals may well be qualified to work in the roles, but for a variety of factors, including ill health, potential lower pay, family circumstances, and many other examples, they might not be in a position to actually apply for any of these jobs. And Donald Cameron spoke of job retention, but people will leave jobs for a variety of reasons. And also, if somebody actually goes into the care sector and they leave within a matter of months because they realise it's not something for them, then I would argue, and I'm quite sure many others would argue as well, that that's probably a good thing that they are leaving, because in the care sector, in some instances, some of these people are the most vulnerable in our society, and you want people who are going to be looking after them to actually want to be there to do that particular role. As somebody said earlier on, it's a vocation. Now, this pandemic has shown beyond doubt that jobs which the UK Government has previously described as lower skilled are in fact a whole range of absolutely vital roles filled by dedicated people with valuable skills and also knowledge. And we've already had the quote from Dr. Donald McCaskill earlier on, and this quote, I think, actually says a huge amount, certainly from Mr McCaskill, but also about the UK Government. And I'll quote him here. He says that there have been few individuals who have more dedicated their lives to the fight against COVID-19 than those working in the frontline social care roles across Scotland. Now, we know that a significant number of these women and men come from the European Economic Area. Also, I'm glad that these people are here and working in Scotland. But also, this new immigration system proposed by the UK Government will leave Scotland's vital social care sector critically short of staff, and it would also damage a number of other important sectors in Scotland. And the UK Government's proposed salary thresholds ignore Scotland's needs, with 53% of roles earning less than the 25,000 and up to 90% in the care sector, as outlined in the Expert Advisory Group report. And also, the social work and residential care sectors are heavily reliant on migrants, with almost 10% of roles filled by workers from outside of the UK, and the majority of whom would not qualify for the visa under the so-called skilled worker route currently being proposed by the UK Government. Now, I think it's astounding that the UK Government has introduced a health and care visa intended to show the UK's gratitude to frontline workers in these sectors, but that this initiative continues to exclude and disregard the huge contribution of social care workers. Now, Presiding Officer, we've also heard, in terms of Scotland's distinct migration needs, and we do need to have that tailored approach. And all of Scotland's population growth over the next 25 years is projected to come from migration. If EU migration in Scotland falls to half current levels, then our working age population would decline by 1%, and the proportion of children by 4.5%. And the FSB Scotland, they said, and I quote, "We have argued that there should be a system in Scotland which responds to the particular needs of Scottish industry and demography." Now, saying also, in 2017, the National Records of Scotland published the demographic and census analysis. And I'm going to use my own area as that example for Inverclyde. And I'll quote this particular bit from the report. Inverclyde is projected to have an ageing population over the next 25 years with a projected increase of 38% for those aged 65 or over. In contrast, the working age population that's aged 16 to 64 is projected to fall by 26% between 2014 and 2039. So according to the 2011 census, even though there were 850 EEA-born nationals living in Inverclyde, we still have population decline. So the Tories need to tell me and my constituency who will look after our older people if the start population projection actually happens. And I don't believe for 1 minute that Donald Cameron is the type to lift up the drawbridge after himself, unlike some of his party colleagues down in the Westminster Parliament. But it does, however, need to tell me and my constituents how we are going to look after this demographic time bomb in my area and also other areas of Scotland if we are going to actually lift up that drawbridge and refuse to allow EE nationals to come into this country.